Okay, good morning, everyone. So, we have come to the first session. So, we have here Mr. Ethan Teh. He is a MFPC certification and CPD committee members, and he is also a licensed financial planner from Famous Financial. So, without further ado, with the topic of financial planning advisory practice in Malaysia, Mr. Ethan, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Farhan. Okay, let's just start. Sorry, I am hearing echo. Okay, is it better now? Can I get some response to
Okay.
also participants? Are you okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Because from my side, it's still there's echo. But never mind. We'll move on if you are okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone. So I will start the session today with what is financial planning and what is the financial planning or financial advisory practices in Malaysia. Okay, let us start with the definition of financial planning. So do you want to read that early in the morning? Sound no clear, sound clear, no echo. Okay, good. So do you want to read that? I just put up here just to scare you off early in the morning. So we are not going to read textbook, right? Okay, so this is just something that I pick up and it's something lengthy from Wikipedia. Okay, what happened here? So what is financial planning? Basically, financial planning is a process. It's not like when we do a construction plan, a building plan, once you are done, design and draw it, then that's it. But no, when it comes to financial planning, it's actually a process. Okay, so it's going on, not to say on, but it should be round and round. Yeah, chat function is disabled, so it will be in Q&A. Okay, so it's a process. So whereby we find what is the objective. So objective is what is our financial goals. And then we do gathering of information. We do analysis, whereby we find out what is our current situation. And then we analyze, see what we can do for us to achieve our objective. And then we develop some plan. And most importantly is we implement the plan. But once we implement, over the time, we still need to monitor and review, right? Okay. And sometimes after review or monitoring, we may even change our financial goal again. Okay, I will go into detail. This is just a brief, brief introduction of what is financial planning. So we'll go in detail at the later part of this presentation. Okay, so, but to put it in a layman term, right? So imagine, anyone of you use this? Waze? Or if you don't use Waze, do you use Google Map? Okay, so how do we use it? First, you must know where you want to go, right? Am I right? So that you must set your destination. So this is also like our financial plan to know that what do you want to achieve at the end of the day. Okay, so you set your destination. After you set your destination, what will you do? Some people don't do this, some people will do this, right? Okay, you will see Waze will show you the way. So they provide us with a few options as well. Okay, so sometimes you want to go faster, just like this one. Okay, okay, this one happened to be the shortest road is also the just 1 minute longer than the other road. Okay, sometimes you want to go fast, so we don't care whether it's a longer road or a road with a toll or without toll. Okay, sometimes you think that, oh, it's okay, or you want to see some scenery along the way. Maybe you want to take the road that without the toll. Okay, so you analyze, or we should say that Waze analyze for us. Waze analyze for us. Then we, how to say, we choose which one we want to go for. Okay, so after you choose, we may also see what is actually happening. Anything that we can foresee, okay, but this is Waze is reporting for us, reported by others. So there's some hazard along the way, moderate traffic, there's a static traffic, standstill traffic. Sometimes they will report that there's accident, how to say, ahead. So with that, probably you want to adjust the time that it start, or maybe you want to take another road, or maybe you want to make some contingency plan. Okay, probably you think that along the way, or you want to delay the timing that you start your journey. So these are things that Waze will show us. So this is actually just like our financial plan, right? So first, you must know where you are, then you know where you want to go. Then you see what options available to you or what option available to us. Then even after we choose the option, we will predict. So is there something that may come in our way when we start our journey? Okay, if there is, what are the risk mitigation plan that we want to put in place? Okay, perhaps you want to after consideration, we want to choose a different timing to depart, or maybe we think that we want to adjust the timing that where we have our lunch, have our break. Okay, so these are a financial plan. Okay, however, my question will be, even with proper planning, right? Okay, so is it when we use Waze, it will guarantee that we will arrive? Not necessary, right? And most importantly, even though they have estimated time of arrival, we may not arrive on time. Agree? And as I said earlier, along the way, so there's a possibility of a change of plan, because as we go, it may not happen as what we expected. Okay, for example, I remember many years back, I was actually attending a wedding dinner um, quite far away, and it's a weekend, so it's in Skinchan. Okay, so I'm traveling from Klang actually. So I thought that I can arrive by 7. So something happened that night, okay, along the way. So it was so jammed that until 8:30, I'm still not yet halfway to the wedding dinner venue. So is it although the Waze earlier on predict that when I test is around 1 hour plus, but at the end of the day, even though we already put some contingency plan in place, whereby I start journey earlier than the expected time that needed, but I still cannot arrive on time. And at the end of the day, actually, I turned back and I actually changed of plan. I decided not to continue my journey there, okay, because it's impossible for me to reach there uh, before the dinner end already. Okay, so sometimes even we know we have plans, we know where we are, we already prepare our contingency plan, but at the end of the day, it may still not happen. So if this is the thing, but having said this, but do you still want to plan next time before you go for a trip? We will still prefer to have a plan, right? Okay, even though the plan may not work out, it is still very important, or else we don't know where to start at all. Okay, so what I want to bring out is basically, yep, maybe we'll say that with a plan, it may work, it may not work, but at least there is a guide that we know how we want to go for. Okay, and why is it more important now for financial planning compared to our generations before us? Okay, so maybe during our parents' time, our grandparents' time, we have not heard about financial planning. Okay, so now everyone is talking about financial planning. So what changed over the time? Okay, perhaps of all, we have to look at multi-generations of Malaysians. Okay, so this one I adopted from the internet. Okay, so the year may be slightly different because I'm in the 80s, but I consider myself Generation X. Okay, so the year that the guide that they put here may not be exactly, you may not agree totally with them, but as this is just provide a guide what happened to different generations of Malaysians over the past how to say 60s, 70s, 80 years. Okay, so those who are born in 1945 or before, that is when we have World War II, right? So it's called the silent generations. Okay, during that time, it was World War II. So I mean, everyone have to be like very compliant, right? Very obedience to the authority. So you don't protest, you don't make any noise, right? So we can understand. And then after that, baby boomers. So this is the generations when the people start to feel safe because the World War II ended, and people start to be able to get enough food, and then this is where that most baby were born. Okay, so this is why it is named as baby boomers. So the population multiplied during this period of time. Okay, so post World War II, everybody start to settle down and then start to have their own family and start to grow the family. During this period of time, what the people want is actually food, shelter, clothing. That's all, right? So I would consider my grandfather and my father is part of this generations. So basically, what they do is every day they just go to work. Okay, they earn money, they make living, make sure that there's enough food to put on the table for the family, and the family have a comfortable house to stay in. That's all, right? They don't talk about going for vacation. I need to take care of my mental needs. No such thing, right? And during that time, there was no mobile phone. It's a very simple life. Okay, but that's the generation. And then come to Generation X. Okay, whereby I will consider this is in between. Okay, like I will consider myself here. So then because the stability is already there, food, shelter, clothing, all these basic needs we'll say that it's almost taken care of already. Okay, if you are willing to work, you have that. Then we start to want to have what? Work-life balance. Okay, and also a lot is willing to take some risks to have a better return, all those things, right? Okay, and then come to millennials. Okay, so millennials is like this is the generation that way people know that what he want, okay, what he or she want. Okay, so it's very goal focus and multitasker. Why multitasker? Because during this period of time, there's so many things around us. So sometimes it's not that we want to be multitasking, but the environment made us to be multitasking, right? Okay, because the jobs before that, our surrounding before that, is made us very focused in just one thing at a time. Okay, but when it comes to millennials, okay, the world is changing so fast. Okay, so you have to pick up. So you want to get the latest news. Okay, you no longer read the newspaper the next day like the Generation X or baby boomers. So now in millennials, okay, actually basically you get a news update every second. Okay, and at the same time you're at your job or you're studying, and then also a lot of things. So it's become multitasker, tech savvy. Okay, and then Generation Z. Okay, so who has the characteristic of a very creative, entrepreneurial, okay, tech dependent and self-reliant. So we can see that over the period of time, the generation is changing. Okay, this is in terms of the characteristic and the needs. So I'll bring this into need, right? Okay. So when we study, when we were in school long time ago, okay, people say that in science, okay, so we study what is the basic needs of human being. Okay, so food, right? Something that we must have. I'm not sure in future if let's say we don't need to, okay, but up to this stage for as long as I know, okay, food is something that we must have. Water, shelter, and clothing. Okay, so this used to be the basic needs of anyone. Agree? Okay, but today, when I talk about internet connectivity, anyone can live without it. Can I say that this is also part of the basic needs already, instead of wants? Okay, for example, if let's say we don't have internet connectivity, today we won't be having this session as well. Okay, so the world are changing. Okay, next, mobility. Okay, I'm not talking about having a car or vehicle or whatever, but we need to be able to move around. Okay, it's either we are using public transport or we have our own vehicle. Okay, this is something that we cannot avoid. Okay, we cannot live only within certain kilometers of radius within our house, right? Okay, we need to move around. And then mobile gadget, especially mobile phone, is it still a want or is it a need? I bet any one of us here, right? Okay, maybe it's not fair to say everyone. I think 99.5% of us here, if you accidentally leave your house without your mobile phone, you will sure turn back, pick it up, right? Okay, so is it still a basic needs? Okay, so I think that it's no longer a want. Okay, so this is why I want to find out. This is what I want to highlight, that okay, our needs are actually increasing over the time. So most importantly, all these needs, right? What we need to fulfill all this, no other thing but resource, right? So the resources we are talking about here is basically, okay, money. Agree? Okay, so in order to fulfill everything, we need to have these resources. Okay, so our resources may be limited. Okay, so how can we allocate them to be more effective? How can we get these resources to make this resource to work for us as well? Okay, so this is all about financial planning. Okay, so we want to maximize this resource and to meet our needs. Okay, so now it's not only needs, also something that we want. Okay, so it's getting more and more complicated compared to the generation before us, which is why financial planning is a lot more important now. Okay, but the problem is, where do we learn about financial planning? So throughout my formal education, okay, from kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, even up to degree, masters, I don't remember there's any subject that taught us about financial planning. Perhaps there's something in mathematics, okay, or maybe other subject that mention about we were taught how to calculate interest rate and how does interest works, okay, but we were not taught how to put it together to have our own financial plan, if you agree. Okay, even if let's say we went through principal accountant, okay, so some may took that in SPM or SDPM, but we still don't know how to apply it for our own financial planning. Okay, so if there's no way we learn, so perhaps what we can do is we see someone who can share with us about financial planning, right? Okay, so for example, even though we learn those who are from learning science, we learn about bio, about our body. But if let's say we have health issue, we still go to doctors, okay, then nutritionist, okay, or pharmacist, and then for building, if let's say you want to have you want to construct your own house, or you want to start a business, you want to construct your warehouse, factory, you see an architect, okay, you see an engineer, or to design your house. And then for legal matters, who do you see? You see lawyers, right? And for financial planning, finally, who do you see? Most of the people go to Google's, right? or maybe some start to use Bing, Yahoo, any search engine. Okay, but most of the people go to Google, right, for financial planning, because it may not be aware still. Okay, is there a professionals in this area? Okay, so today I'm here to introduce a little bit about financial planners and financial advisors. Okay, so licensed financial planners or financial advisors actually two are the professions that actually you need license from security commissions, or you need to be approved by Bank Negara. And prior to that, actually you need to have professional qualifications. Okay, just like accountant, you need to be ACCA or CIMA, CIMA. Okay, so for financial planner, there are basically most of the time there are two professional qualifications or program available. One is registered financial planner. Since you are here today, you know MFPC. So MFPC will be the organization that runs this certification. And the other one will be CFP, Certified Financial Planner. Okay, this is run by FPAN. Of course, there are others options, but these are the two more popular now at this moment. Okay, so this is also how do I end up to be a financial advisors and financial planners? This is also the reason as I was searching, how can I do financial planning for myself? When can I learn about financial planning? So I ended up with RFP. Okay, this is a program that whereby they actually train someone to be a financial planners or financial advisors. Okay. Okay. Sorry, so I need to switch between screens because sometimes I see some question. I see some how to say some question coming up in chat box or Q&A. So I'm just trying to making sure that I don't miss out anything. Okay. So they are actually professionals, financial planners or financial advisors that actually assist the public to do financial planning. So what happens when you engage a financial planners or financial advisors? Okay. So first of all, in our situation now, most of the time, most of the financial planners or financial advisors do business in few models. Okay. First of all, can be fee only. Means that there are certain financial planners that only charge you fees for consultation or advisory. Okay. So they don't they don't recommend to you any products. Okay, they recommend solutions to you, and you can source for your products anywhere you want. Okay, so there are also certain financial advisor that actually are very much still how to say practice in the way of a recommendation of products only. So when financial advisors or financial planners recommend products, they still earn the commission from the providers. Okay, just like any other intermediaries. But the only thing different here is even if you go for financial advisor or financial planners for product advice, okay, or recommendation, this group of people will be able to provide you, how to say, solution based on your needs, okay? Because financial advisors and financial planners don't represent any providers. Okay, so they represent clients and source for the best. For example, if you need insurance, okay, financial advisors doesn't represent any insurance company, but they represent you, and then they source for the best. We don't say best lah, the one that suit you the most. Okay, so the one that is most suitable for you. So this is what financial advisors do, even for investment. Okay, rather than a single product recommendation, it could be a combination and from different source. Okay, so this is what financial planners, advisors do, and this is when we talk about a product based or certain area only. Okay, so it's your choice whether you want to engage a licensed financial planners that to give you purely on advice, recommendations. Okay, as most of the time, things like when you need advice on mortgage planning or debt management, that could be an area that you need to pay for fees because there won't be any products. Okay, so or if you want to have a full financial plan draw up, the blueprint, okay, your blueprint of your financial plan, then that will be that will be on fee. Okay, So it's depending on who do you talk to. Okay. So let's say you're interested. I mean, if you know now that you have a financial planners, okay, or if you want to do yourself. So what is a financial plan? Okay, so I have put up this chart earlier. Okay, so I have put up this chart earlier. So financial plan is basically a process, right? So there's 6 steps here. Okay, so you start with objective, or sometimes even you start with gathering of information. Okay, so then you analyze. So I will explain in a little bit more details what are these. Okay, let's talk about objective. Okay, so when we talk about objective of financial plan, so what do you want to achieve? Basically, it's financial goal, right? Okay, so how do we actually, most of the time, how do we classify all these financial goals? So we classify them in a category: short-term, mid-term, and long-term. Okay, short terms are things that probably happens within 12 month or 24th month. Okay, so midterm could be something between 2 years to 5 years or 3 years. Okay, and long terms would be something that you want to achieve beyond 5 years. So what are those examples of short-term goal? Okay, maybe you want to take some contingency, how to say, emergency fund, set up an emergency fund. So these are short-term plan, or you want to go for vacation, or probably you want to pick up a new hobby. Okay, so these are considered as short-term goal. Okay, so what are considered as mid-term? So probably you want to get a new car. Okay, you want to get a new house, or you want to start a business, or you want to settle off all your debt. Okay, so these are some example of midterm goals, and what are example of long-term goal? Probably the common one will be education plan for our children. Okay, because it normally happen in 10, 15, or 18 years. Okay, so our own retirement planning. So what we want to do during our retirement. So that will be our long-term goal. Or at the end of the day, maybe we want to have some legacy planning. So what we want to leave behind when we are no longer here. Okay, so these are something that we want to discuss. Okay, the purpose, objective. Okay, why do we want to have this financial plan? Okay, by having this financial plan, so what do we want to achieve at the end of the day? Next will be what? Gathering of information and also analyze. Okay, what do we mean by this? Okay, so now we know that what we want to achieve. So the second step we want to know is, where are we now? Okay, some people ask me, to own a house, is it a midterm plan, or how long do I need for me to be able to own my own house? So my question is, what do you have now? Okay, if let's say you already save up 500,000, I would say that probably the next thing you can do is look for the suitable one, and understand what is the level of commitment you're willing to take up, or you're comfortable to take up every month. Okay, to pay for your installment and to manage the expenses of the house. Probably you can start to look out and have it immediately. But compared to someone who are freshly just graduated, okay, just graduated, got no resources at all, start with zero. Okay, so you're starting to work now. Probably your plan to own a house could be 3 to 5 years later on, right? So, which is why we need to have all those information available to us first, and then we have to analyze. Okay, so what is your current situation? So this is the part of our financial plan. So what you need to do is, most of the time, you need to know your statement for the past 12 months, okay, 1 year. So how is your spending like? Okay, to those who are understand about business accounting, so it's more like your cash flow statement. You get your cash flow statement, whether you are spending more than what you earn. If yes, then probably you want to do something about it. You want to do a budgeting, so that you make sure that you have surplus, so that you can start to have a plan or moving towards achieving your financial goal. If you have deficit cash flow, basically, I would say that it's very hard for us to achieve any of our financial goal, right? Okay, because it's all about involving saving up, and then manage your resources. Okay, next, you probably want to know what is your current net worth statement. a lot. I mean, most of us here, multi-million, consider millionaire, right? Because your house costs you about 800,000, 900,000, or at least 500,000, 600,000, and then you own a car. So it looks like everyone is a millionaire, but we also understand that 80% of it is still owned by the banks, right? So we are still in liability. We still have debt. Okay, so in total, taking off away all my liabilities from my assets, am I still leaving something behind or not? Okay, that will be my net worth. Okay, so for individual, it's very unlikely for anyone to be in a negative zone, because when you have so much resources, that is the amount that you are able to spend, right? Okay, but business could be in negative zone. Okay, so then we gather information, okay, and we analyze the situation. Okay, after we gather information and we analyze, actually you can also do this on your own. Probably this is a good, I mean, this is the first step that you can take today. Okay, so you start to analyze your spending for the past 12 months, and then you start to gather information about the assets and liability that you're owning. Okay, so then you will start to realize, okay, oh, this is the reason why at the end of last year I managed to have about 50,000 in my saving account that I turned into fixed deposit. Okay, those were the for the past, probably everything happened by chance. Okay, we don't know why it happened that way, but whenever there's a surplus, you put it somewhere else, or you buy some investment products. Okay, but start from today, probably you want to plan for it. You want to know, hey, what actually happened. And this is also something very important if let's say you think that you want to do budgeting. Okay, a lot of time, I think at certain level, I mean, certain phase of our life, we tried to do budget before, but most of the people will give up very fast because you feel that you cannot, how to say, you cannot follow your own budget. Okay, you cannot keep to it, and then you feel that it's not workable. Okay, one of the reason is we have not really looked into our situation. Okay, because our spending is very much reflecting on our living lifestyle. So I think most of us here will agree that it's not easy to change your lifestyle, right? Okay, so which is why before we do a budget, basically the best thing to do is we really analyze how we spend. Okay, from there, then you can identify what is the things that you're willing to give up, and you must have a strong reason. Okay, with objective. What do I want to achieve? And in order to achieve that, what I need to give up for now? Okay, that is managing our resources. Okay, after we gather information, we analyze. Next, of course, you want to develop a plan, right? Just like what Waze did it for us earlier. Okay, so we'll see that what option is available. If let's say you are doing investment, okay, so what investment products is available to us? So which one is the best? Okay, probably the best to us lah. Okay, because what is best to one person may not be the best for another person. Agree? So this is where we want to analyze and see what is happening. Okay, so at the end of the day, if I choose this road, what are the costs? Okay, the tolls, or if I choose the other road, what are the risks ahead? So which one do I want to choose? And which road I want to choose, and along the way, how do I want to monitor? Okay, so this is the stage that when we develop of a plan. And so we found out what we want. Okay, we gather information, and we know very well that where we are standing now. We did analysis on what our current situation, and also we developed plan along the way. So next, what is more important? Okay, we can have the best plan, but without implementation, right? It means nothing will happen. Agree? Okay, so of course the next thing that we need to do will be implementation. Okay, so basically Implement means you need to push the start button. Agree? Okay. So you push the start button because you already identify where you want to go and you already decide which road you want to take. Okay. So you need to push the start button. But along the way, okay, during the, when we put in our plan, right, we need to identify the checkpoint. Okay. So for example, if you always travel, you know that from JB you want to travel to Penang, for example, you will pass by where you will pass by, okay. Okay, you will pass by Malacca, you will pass by Negeri Sembilan, then you will pass by Selangor, KL, Perak, then you will reach Penang, right? So these are checkpoints. So if let's say you drive, you already pass by Malacca, and then suddenly you see Tangkak, perhaps you took the wrong way, right? Okay, so these are checkpoints. So or milestone. So we have to set that, and then when after we implement, we make sure that when we move, okay, we hit this. Okay, so and next, then the second one, okay, did we meet what we planned earlier? Because, for example, if let's say you are planning for your retirement at the after 25 years, you don't want to be caught by surprise, right? Only year 24th, on the 24th year, you found out that, oh, actually, I'm still 70% behind my schedule. So what are you going to do about it? It's already too late, right? Okay, probably what you want is every 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, earlier part, and as it come nearer, then probably you want to have, how to say, it's further away, probably you can say that, oh, I want to review it every 1 year or 2 years, or 2 years. But as it come nearer, you want to review it more frequently, right? Okay, so this is about monitoring and review. Why we say that is because first, if let's say it's according to our plan, then it's good. Agree? Then means that we are on track. But what if let's say it's not if not according to our plan? Probably few things you want to do, lor. You want to have a different strategy. Okay, means that you want to take a change of plan. Okay, or take another alternative. Okay, or if let's say sometimes it's more extreme that probably along the time, along the way, we think that our financial goal change. Okay, this rate goal can also change because we may have different needs. Okay, sometimes you plan to have only 2 kids, but it happens to be God want to give you 3, so you have to accept also, right? Okay, so the plan has to change. Okay, so there are a lot of things will happen along the way. Okay, so which is why we need to consistently review it, monitor it. Okay, and sometimes we make changes. Okay, so which is why I come back to this one first. Back to this, so you can see that basically not something that you start with and you end here, but rather it goes round and round and round. And when do we stop? We stop when we can no longer generate any income, or maybe we can no longer move long. Okay, when we are resting peacefully forever. Okay, then you have nothing else to worry. Okay, so which is what this is how a financial plans look like. Okay, why right from the start I mentioned that it's a process rather than something very rigid that you start and then you just follow through. Okay. So at the end of the day, for the past 40 minutes to 45 minutes, okay, so I discussed about why is financial planning important, why financial planning is important. Okay, so what has happened over the past generations until now is different, right? Okay, means that why people before this, our generation before this, we hear less about financial planning. Okay, but why is it more important now? Because as I mentioned, okay, it's totally different. We are living in a different world now. Okay, our basic needs is getting more and more. So I won't even we cannot even consider having mobile phone is a want anymore. But of course, choosing between the different model of phone is something that we can okay. You can choose a mobile phone that costs you below 1,000, or you can choose a mobile phone that costs you more than 5,000-10,000. Okay, that is something that we can choose. But having one, to me now, is basically something that you cannot avoid. Okay, so with this, okay, so a lot of competing needs. So our short term, our daily life, and also how to say and also our retirement. Okay, so why people concerned about retirement now, okay, compared to the generation before? So how I believe that most of us here won't agree to the typical Asian thinking that we used to have, right? Having children to take care of retirement. Okay, so most of the people here now would want to have retirement planning to be able to, how to say, to support ourselves during retirement, right? So with this, all are using the same resources that we are earning. Okay, so what are the resources? Basically, it's finance or money lah. Okay, so it is important that we know what we want, and sometimes we have to prioritize. Okay, which is more important, and then which one we want to sacrifice now for longer good. Okay, so this is what financial planning about, and this is why financial planning is more important now than ever. Okay, so second thing, so we also discuss about who can assist anyone in financial planning. So in Malaysia, we have licensed financial planners who are licensed by security commissions. And we also have financial advisors representative that approved by Bank Negara. So since we are here now, we're talking about these professionals. So let me also, clear up some confusions, and a lot of people like to ask us, what is the difference between financial advisor and financial planners? Have you thought of this? So what is the difference? Okay, so basically in general, financial advisor and financial planners are almost the same. I mean, they are doing the same job, okay? But it's because due to our act, okay? So financial advisory is governed by, how to say, the agent that is doing this is Bank Negara Malaysia, and is covered under Financial Service Act or Islamic Financial Service Act. So in Financial Service Act, okay, basically 2013, right? Or something like the year I've forgotten, okay? But Financial Service Act says that financial advisory is insurance related. So when you're recommending about insurance, okay, so or takaful for Islamic, okay, or when you are doing analysis about insurance, so this is financial advisory. Okay, so all those banks, insurance company are governed by Bank Negara Malaysia. So which is why also at the end of the day, anyone who is being approved by Bank Negara is actually named as financial advisor representative. Okay, or the company is financial advisor. So individual will be named as financial advisor representative, or FAR, that you always see. And these people are all these people are listed on Bank Negara website. So you can check whether is he or her a real financial advisor or not. I don't say that it's real or not. I mean, it's approved or not. Okay, that is one. Okay, when it comes to financial planning, so financial planning is how to say, stated in the Capital Market Service Act. Okay, so this act, the authority, okay, the agents that is monitoring this will be Security Commissions of Malaysia. So under this act, it specifies that financial planning is about giving advisory, doing analysis, okay, onto anyone financial situation, okay, and also about investment. So which is why this is also a licensable activities. Means that if you want to engage in this activity, you need to be licensed, okay? So under CMSA, Capital Market Service Act. So once you get licensed, you will call as licensed financial planner. So which is why here in Malaysia, you see two different titles of financial advisor and licensed financial planner. But basically, most of the financial planner and financial out here are having both. Okay, for example, I'm a licensed financial planner and I'm also a financial advisor representative. But of course, you don't see both on my business card, okay, we just put either one. Okay, so but again, as a licensed financial planner, you can also check the credibility. I mean, if let's say the person is truly licensed on Security Commission's website. Okay, so I hope that you understand this, and you can differentiate between what is a financial advisor and financial planners. Okay, basically the job are almost the same. But to conclude it, mainly financial advisors is approved by Bank Negara and dealing more with insurance and tadafu, and financial planners are more to analyze of, preparing a financial plan of an individual and advising on the part of investment and whatever. But most of the time, any person that you see should be could be or on the way to be licensed by both. Okay, because in a comprehensive financial plan, okay, you need to have analysis, you need to have risk mitigation plan, you need to have how to say investment planning, you need to have estate planning. So it's all in one. Okay, so that is what a financial plan is about. Okay, so you can DIY yourself if you want, but if let's say you want to do that, perhaps at the end of the day, perhaps you will end up like me. Okay, so when you start to find out about financial plan, probably you'll end up taking up a registered financial planning program or certified financial planner program, and end of the day you're qualified to be a financial planner. Okay, so that is one of the way that you can learn about financial planning. Okay, I think it's about, we are left with about 12 minutes for our session. It should include Q&A. So is there any question in our Q&A? Oh, okay. So Leong is saying that can't live without a phone. E-wallet is there, road tax is there. Okay. Yeah, so this is something that we can't avoid, right?
That Mr. Ethan. Mr. Ethan.
Okay.
Mr. Ethan. Can you hear me?
So
Wait,
is there any question? Or because early morning, most of you fall asleep already due to my presentation. So today after me there will be 2 more sessions by very experienced speakers. So they will be sharing about investment planning and also retirement planning, if I'm not wrong. Okay.
Mr. Ethan. Ethan. Testing. Dengar suara aku tak? Tak dengar suara aku. Mr. Ethan. Can you hear me? Tak dengar. Kau boleh dengar suara aku tak?
I can hear.
Can hear. Okay, so basically, Mr. Ethan, can you see dekat Q&A box? So something like there's someone write about traditional inherited planning. Maybe you can explain it a bit.
I don't see that question.
You go to the second ni. You see that ada open, answered, and dismiss.
Oh, okay. Traditional inherited planning. Okay, I think this by Chan Fan, right? I believe mentioned this when we say that our previous generation don't really talk much about financial planning. So, and there's nowhere that we have formal education, how we are going to do financial planning, right? Okay, so we just learn from our parents lah. So how they, we can observe that most of the people surrounding us. So we are doing what our parents used to do all the time, right? How do we check with BNM for the listed person? Okay, for this one, you just go to BNM website and you look for approved person list. There's a link there. Okay. Save some for the rainy days. Okay, of course, in financial planning, the first thing that we need to achieve is we must have enough emergency fund. Okay, and the rule of thumb, all this while everyone was mentioning about 3 to 6 months, but COVID changed a lot. I mean, a lot of people changed perception due to COVID, because suddenly we can face with something like loss of income for more than 6 months. Okay, and some job have lost permanently. Okay, so what I would say that is 3 to 6 months is still a good guideline, okay, to prepare your emergency fund. But probably the more correct way of doing it will be, you think how long you need to replace your current income. If let's say you suddenly don't have job, okay, this include like probably to find the next job, or maybe you want to change to another positions that give you income. Okay, so that would be the emergency fund. And so sometimes there are also people that when we see that saving a lot of emergency fund. So is it good? It's good, but at the same time, you are not making your money to work for you. For example, by keeping all the emergency, most of the time you keep emergency fund in either savings account or fixed deposit account. Okay, but when you are keeping aware too much of this emergency fund, means that you are not making your money to work for you. Okay, because you can always utilize certain portion of your money to do some investment to give you higher return, and it will also help to achieve your financial goal. Okay, question by Leong. What is your thoughts regards to inheritance tax? Do the parents has to plan the money to the children, otherwise the property will go unclaimed and go to Amanah Raya? First of all, I won't say that the property will go unclaimed. Okay. If let's say the children can, I mean the person supposed to pay the tax to inherit it, right? If cannot inherit it, there's always channel that the executor can liquidate it, pay the tax, and the remaining pass to the children, right? Okay, so it should not go to Amanah Raya lah. Okay, but of course, this is my assumption now because we don't have the inheritance tax in place yet. And if you're in the financial service industry, if let's say there is inheritance tax, then that is where a lot of family will start to consider family office or having a trust. So there is no more inheritance. Okay, so there are a lot of ways lah. Okay. So financial planning is something like going around and around, will be a risk being sued. Do you mean that practice as financial planner has a risk of being sued? I assume this is your question, of course. So most of licensed financial planners, especially the company, has professional indemnity insurance in place. Frequent of plan changes. I mean, change is the only constant in financial planning or whatever. Okay, change is inevitable. Okay, because the situation changed. Okay, as a financial planner, we analyze based on what we agree together with client. And for futures, we also agree on the assumption that we want to use. Okay, when the consequences change, then it has to change. Okay, so nothing we can do. Just like even if let's say we are constructing a building, okay, so you do some soil investigation, so you design the foundation, but when you start to dig, you meet something else, you hit rock or you hit a soft soil, you have to change also, right? Yeah, that is something that we cannot change. Okay.
Okay, I
So,
think Mr. Ethan,
yeah.
sorry to interrupt. I think this will be the last question from Muhammad Nakyuddin. Can you answer that, and then we can move to the next session?
Oh yeah, okay. Okay. I just to conclude the one. Okay, but most importantly, as a financial planner, we do the job. I mean professionally, you know. Then you're technically trained, right? So you apply what you learn. Okay, now you keep up to the trend, and then you discuss it with your client. You do your best, and you protect. I mean, you are not biased. Then you should be safe. Okay, when you are being sued, is when you have negligence, okay, or you didn't act fairly. Okay, so as long as you have everything documented, you should be okay. Don't worry too much. Okay, how do you determine a fair rate for financial planning services? I would say that there's no fair rate. Even if you go to a lawyer, unless it's like a standard procedure like transferring of property documentation, okay, it's depending on who do you want to get, the experience of the person that you are talking to. Okay, so there is no standard rate table for financial planning services. But I would say that for a comprehensive financial plan, the practice in the market, it could be somewhere around 2,000 to 10,000, 15,000. Okay, so the fair rate is determined by you and your client. Okay, I think as mentioned by Farhan, so we have to move on. Okay, if you have anything else, okay, you can get connected with me, okay, via LinkedIn or Facebook. And one phrase that I would like to leave with all of you is hope is not a financial plan. Okay, so a lot of people are just doing what we are doing every day and hoping that at the end of the day we can achieve what we want. Okay, I would say that that is not a plan actually.